Welcome to It Starts With Whiskey, the podcast where every conversation begins with a sip of whiskey and takes us on a journey through the diverse landscapes of life. I'm Ryan.
I'm Thee.
And I'm JoJo.
Together we'll embark on an adventure filled with spirited discussions fueled by our love for whiskey and ignited by our passion for exploring the world around us.
And of course, no conversation is off limits. From thought-provoking debates to lighthearted banter, expect a healthy dose of controversy as we navigate through the complexities of life.
So grab your favorite glass, pour yourself a dram, and join us on It Starts With Whiskey, where every episode is an adventure waiting to unfold. Welcome to episode 5, Whiskey and Festivals, A Spirited Journey. Welcome back, guys.
Thanks.
Can you believe it? Episode 5, here we are.
We actually have 5 listeners now, too.
We do.
Actually, I think it's more than
Hello
It
to
is.
all 5 of our listeners.
Yeah. So what in the world have we been doing since the last time we were together? I think Joe's been somewhere.
Yep. Joe went to Kansas City for work. I actually had a really nice time. I went out to a neat little barbecue place for lunch, and then went to a famous person's Italian place and had dinner with colleagues, and they're really cool. Like, I really enjoyed them, so I can't wait to go back to Kansas City.
Kansas City, here I come.
Yep. And then I came home, ran and did a quick audit in Detroit, and then flew home again. And decided that I should probably go in for some shoulder repair surgery. So this week has just been a little bit of R&R and running around with my sling.
A lot of R&R.
Yeah.
Compared to what you do, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it just forced me to slow my butt down.
Mm-hmm.
And my body said, nope, you're done. So here you go.
What about you, Thee?
Well, I haven't had too much going on, but in addition to Joe's surgery, we did all get a little bit of an illness, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's see, that wasn't this immediate past week, but a little over a week ago, all of a sudden, I think Ryan started one day, I came in with the symptoms the next day, and then Joe got it the following. And it does not mean we were doing anything outside of probably sharing one glass of whiskey.
Yep.
And man almighty.
And
No
it's all
throuple
those-
business.
It's
No
all those
throuple
damn
this
kids
time.
at Irish, I think,
know.
that were...
I'm
We'll get to that,
telling you,
but-
Yep, we will. We will. That's right. That's right. So we'll circle back to a couple of festivals because that is the subject that we're here to talk about today, and we'll fill Joe in on our adventures. Ryan and I had to go do some adventuring without Joe this week because she did get that sickness, and
was worried about the surgery,
Yeah.
whether you were going to get it or not.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I was too.
I'm glad you took it easy.
Me
the
too.
fest was fun, but got to take care of you.
What about you, Ryan? What were you up to?
Well, since last time, Eve's finally wrapping up swim season, so I get my wife back for 6-8 more months, which will be nice.
All right, Eve.
We had her swim banquet, and I just want to give a shout out because I know some of the parents listen to us, and I would not be surprised if some of the kids do too because Eli's recruiting for us. But she has an amazing group of parents and swimmers, and they always let the seniors do, a farewell speech and talk on their last, escapade out. Mm-hmm. And it always brings me to tears to hear about the impact that Eve and her coach Weller and Ashley have on these kids, because they're all coming from different, mindsets and different lifestyles and everything. And I'm always impressed with that. And then, listening to a couple of the seniors even call out Eli and his leadership when he was on the team.
He's not even in the school.
He's not even there
They
anymore.
called him out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lasting impression, I'll tell you.
So as a parent and husband, I'm very proud, and
Yeah,
that
you
was
are.
kind of cool.
We'll have to dive into that pride, in one of these future episodes when we chat a little bit more about our kids, but
Yeah.
it's amazing to feel that.
The other thing was Eve's in Indy this week, so she had the banquet last week, and then this past week she was in Indy for National Swim Coaches event and conference and NCAA's, and I was home by myself, so I spent the week as a bachelor. I cooked Monday and then thought I'd cook more, but it didn't end up that way.
Well, when you're cooking for one, if I recall right, you ended up with some leftovers that you maneuvered throughout the week. So
yeah, it was like Tuesday I hit Wolfgang Puck's kitchen down at the Amway and went to the Lumber Baron. I only had one drink at each place. I was being responsible. Next day, Thea and I went to One Bourbon and
yeah,
had to share our smoked ribeye again.
oh, that's such a
And
good steak.
got turned on to a barrel pick that they had done of Old Forester, single barrel, which that shit is delicious. Can't wait for Joe to
I can't wait either.
try it.
I
We'll
wanna
have to
try
crack it out
Oh yeah,
here and go get another bottle before they run out.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I spent way too much money and tried a bunch of different stuff this week while I was here.
Yeah, I'm keen to try that. I said keen. I can't wait to try that Chicago beef place that you found.
Yeah.
So it's coming. Like, there's a few restaurants opening up in our town. Like, I went to one over in Easttown, little smaller place. Guy's straight from Chicago. He's been running a Chicago beef restaurant down there for 20 years, and it's fantastic. And then you sent me a message the other day with a beautiful picture of a Chicago beef, and I'm like, oh, by the way, it's a hot beef. I'm sorry, Chicago hot beef, right?
I did medium. The Chardonnay
You're not
stuff.
so spicy, boy.
Because I was drinking bourbon, so I didn't want to
Yeah.
burn all my taste buds off, and
Yeah.
it tastes a little weird
Yeah.
when you do that.
Yeah. Have you had a Chicago hot beef?
I
Joe?
have not.
Oh, you
Do you
gotta.
like spicy stuff?
I do not.
Okay, so you would do the mild.
I would do
Mm-hmm.
I would
Chardonnay.
do the baby one, the pansy one, the one with no
You could-
spice.
I just cut you the tip off of mine.
I
and
like
let
it.
you because I know you wouldn't be able to eat that whole thing.
I would not.
But yeah, that was good, and they had live blues music.
Love it.
So that's on Thursdays. We're gonna have to go down there.
We shall return.
Yeah, it's just, I'm home for a couple weeks, so as soon as you have a Thursday open, I'm in.
And the bartender there, she was a little feisty. I liked it. There were these two girls that walked in and sat next to me, and they're not going to listen to this, so I'll talk about them. I
Spill it.
messaged Eve, and I was like, I think Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie just sat next to me.
Oh no.
They're like, we would like this is some kind of elaborate mixed cocktail. I'm like, yeah, this isn't the kind of place for that. And she's like, nope, can't make it. Nope, can't make it. And so they found something they could drink, but they had a pretty good whiskey selection. But yeah, they were interesting. Younger
Paris Hilton and what was her
Nicole
name?
Richie.
Yeah, Nicole Richie. It's been a while since I
Yeah.
heard anything about them. Wow. I may have
Yep.
to do a little research when we get done.
Do you remember the show they had? Did you?
Yes.
I used to watch that. That was a long time ago, though.
Oh, I know. Was it 2000s? Mid
Yeah,
2000s?
it was
Like our
early.
kids were babies?
Before we even had the kids,
Was
I
it?
think. Yeah.
So early 2000s.
I
think
never
it's-
watched it.
Yes, you did. You
I know I
you-
did not.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
Paris was your bestie?
No. I can't handle it.
Oh.
We're already getting sidetracked.
Yep.
We are.
Let's
This is
come
good
back.
though.
Yeah.
Next episode will be
Yeah.
sidetracked all episodes.
Big
So
time.
Hey, this is going to be a great episode. Ryan, you want to take us back last episode? We asked our listeners, or not last episode, on the podcast, on the sites. We asked our listeners a couple of questions. You want to tell us what we discovered?
Yeah. So we're still starting. So we only had 2 replies.
That's
And they
okay.
just happened to be my kids.
Hey.
So
We'll take it.
so Zoe, what other topics or whiskeys would you like us to discuss? So Zoe actually had a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
She suggested entry barriers into whiskey tasting and collecting. not knowing how to start, not knowing or having the financial means, what would we recommend to people trying to get into the whiskey culture, I guess we would call it.
You know, if I didn't know Zoe as well as I did, I would actually jump right on you and go, typical college kid wants to know how to get good whiskey for cheap, but that is totally not Zoe's MO.
No, go to your dad's basement.
Right, right.
No,
Yeah.
I can kick this one off by one that I fell upon. So I was kind of starting out too, and I was looking for I don't know, I didn't want anything that would break the bank. I just wanted to get involved and, try different whiskeys, right? So I went to Total Wine. I believe it was in Grand Rapids, and the guy told me about this bourbon called Earl Settler, and it had amazing. I tried it in the store, so I bought a couple bottles, one for me and one for Ryan, and I really enjoyed it. The proof is only it's only about 80 proof, but it's less than $20 a bottle. It's a perfect everyday drinker.
And we just opened it again to refresh our memory before we recorded, and I forgot how good that actually was.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
For 20. And then
Unbelievable.
another one out there is Benchmark. That's made by Buffalo Trace, and it's very similar to just regular Buffalo Trace. But they intentionally made two separate products. Buffalo Trace is aged, what it says online, between 7 and 8 years, and Benchmark is around 3 years. But prices on Benchmark is $15 to $25 for old number 8.
Yeah.
It's not 8 years. It's just old number 8.
Old number 8.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I was confused when I was looking at it. I was like, is this 8 years? Because that's not what it said. Mm-hmm. But no, it's old number 8. And even then, Buffalo Trace is still not that bad, $23 to $30.
Right.
But that one's getting a little harder to find.
That is true.
We don't have that problem because we have a couple stores here that always has it. But I hear like around the state and in Ohio, they can't get it there either. So anyways,
I think you bring up something kind of interesting, and it reminds me of another conversation you and I had this week, Ryan. I think it'd be really interesting to like kind of dive into some of the distilleries and talk about like the different brands that like the distilleries make, because you and I were talking about a local store, Total Wine, and they have their own line, which I had just learned reading an article this week, and I think that could be a good subject. So thanks, Zoe, for thinking of not only this great subject, but one thing I want to bring up, and Zoe had asked entry barriers, like how to get started, how to start, not just which whiskey, but one thing I heard you two talking about is talking to people, right?
yeah.
Both of you, like, you learned about it, or you, I don't know, read about it or something, just, some sort of investigation. But I would encourage people to talk to people. One whiskey that I found is a good example, not of talking to somebody, but of finding another resource. I was watching a YouTube channel called SLB, SLB Bourbon, I think is what it's called. But they were talking about some cheaper whiskeys. What are some good whiskeys that are less than $30? And they came up with a 1972, and so I found that in a local store.
1792.
Yeah, 1792. My bad.
Dyslexic.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that one's a really good one too, and I know it's under $30. I want to say 20, 26, 27.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was drinking at the Chicago Beef, and it was $8 for a pour, which is cheap for bourbon.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's another good one.
And then the other thing I'll say, back to Zoe's question as well, is you're probably going to want to start out with some lower proof samplings. And I would recommend even going to, a local bar that, not like college dive bar type place, but, one of the ones that actually has a whiskey selection, and just get recommendations from the bartenders, because those guys and ladies will tell you more than you ever want to know about each of those.
Yep.
And if you just tell them what you like, you want something sweeter, they'll point you in the right direction.
Oh yeah, even this week, Ryan, when we were sitting at One Bourbon and the big shelf of whiskey, and we're kind of honed in on the one thing they didn't have. And so we couldn't get our mind wrapped around something else. So I just asked Tyler, the bartender, I'm like, what are you liking now? And he's like, I am grooving on this Old Forester. It's a store pick, or the restaurant's pick, and it's amazing. And he goes through the description, which I can't recall all of it. Ryan and I try it. Wow.
Yeah. We'll be
Really,
going back for another bottle or two before they run out.
we're hardy. Yep.
Wasn't cheap,
No.
but it was good.
No.
It is good.
Yeah.
No, and another inexpensive one, and my girl had actually bought me a bottle of this. It's the Old Granddad, except to Ryan's point, this is a higher proof, so you can't. I wouldn't start with this one, but it's
Or water it down or put an ice cube in it.
true. It's at 114 proof, so it's like right around $32 a bottle. But it's Old Granddad, and it's super, super good. Nice flavor, but yeah, kick you in the teeth. It's got some proof.
So another thing that we had thrown out there on the web, not on the web, but on our podcast episode was, what is your favorite type of whiskey? So we had bourbon, Scotch, rye, and Irish. We had a whopping 3 responses, and all 3 selected bourbon.
It'll be interesting to see if that changes at all.
Yeah.
I can't wait to circle back. I can't wait to engage with our listeners. Like, I'm really looking forward to, having that opportunity and figuring out how we can get more, more of that engagement from them. So,
Yeah. Okay, so our tasting today.
oh boy.
Since we kind of dropped the ball last episode, and for our St. Patrick's Day, we forgot about the Irish whiskey, and then we brought
Where's
one
the sound
in.
effect, Ryan? Ba-dum, bum.
That wasn't that one.
Nah.
But, so anyways, and I think we had mentioned on the last episode, we were going to go pitch in together and get this Middleton Very Rare 2023.
Yeah.
Coming in at a whopping $400 and some dollars. We
Yeah.
were all pitching in on that one.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
And I was really, the 2022 year I thought was phenomenal and maybe one of the best whiskeys overall I've ever had. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and read the introduction. We won't go into flavor profiles as we normally don't until we try it.
Yep.
But introducing our Middleton Very Rare 2023 vintage release. Since 1984, each master distiller of Middleton Very Rare uses their eye for detail, their passion for quality whiskey, and their exemplary skill to create the pinnacle of Irish whiskey, our special vintage release. The latest chapter of this renowned collection is adorned with the signature of our master distiller, Kevin O'Gorman. After months of exploration, O'Gorman crafted a balanced blend of rare and hand-selected single-pot still and single-grain Irish whiskeys for Middleton's exclusive inventory to create this truly special release. Matured in lightly charred ex-bourbon American oak barrels, the Middleton Very Rare 2023 vintage release delights with decadent flavors and tantalizing aromas. Kind of sounds like...
Tantalizing.
Sounds a little chat GPT-ish. The aroma, taste, and finish of this whiskey will enliven the palates of those new to this collection while taking the seasoned whiskey collector on a journey through an exciting exploration of tastes. So, this one comes in at 80 proof, 40% alcohol, and I'm scrolling down because I don't want to see our show notes as we're kind of swirling this around to open up the smell.
Yeah, really cool tip. Brian just told us. I never heard of this before, but if you take the whiskey and swirl it around in your glass a little bit, it starts to open it up with the aroma.
Well, it's even, he's got it like tipped to the side, and you're just kind of
Coating the
twisting
walls. Yeah.
coating the walls of the glass.
I learned that from the video,
Yeah.
YouTube video today.
It reminds me of when you're tasting wine. So there's so
Exactly.
many.
Looking for the legs.
Yeah, I don't know about.
Nah, in bourbon.
Oh,
It smells really smooth,
oh yeah.
but it's not. My nose is. I'm used to describing bourbon flavors, and it's not a bourbon scent.
So Irish whiskey, Ryan. Just so just so I can keep this in my brain. So every type of whiskey has their primary grain, and Irish is barley, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna have
rye
to
is
look it
rye, bourbon is corn, Scotch. Maybe Scotch is the barley. I don't know.
Malted.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Malted
I'm
barley.
really trying to like solidify this knowledge that I'm acquiring.
Yeah, I'm on my iPad, so I don't have an easy way to search. I don't know how to use iPads, so. Very smooth. Like there is no burn in that
None.
at all.
None.
And I get like a butterscotch, a little sweetness on the tip of my tongue.
You're not getting just a little bit of a spice in the front. It's not a burn. Are you getting a spice? Not on the throat, not going down.
I'm not
Peppery?
getting any burn at all.
No, I've got no burn. When you said spice, it was I could taste it, but it was at the back of my throat as I was going down. I'm like, okay, there's a spice, but it's not a burn. It's just I don't know, like a.
Do you get a ginger? Like
Ooh.
the ginger might be the slight burn on the nose kind of resembles a ginger.
And that could be the kind of spice, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about spice like
Peppery.
peppery. Like
No.
it's some kind of and one thing, let me just say, I have yet to figure out how to find fruity finishes in whiskey. Like, I am working on that on my taste profile and like learning about it, but this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so smooth. What you say the proof is on
Just
this one?
80.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lower proof.
Huh. It seems like the more expensive whiskeys tend to have a higher proof. So there must have been like a sweet spot they found here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read. I'll do the nose. And according to some of the reviews I found online, going back to your fruit.
I know.
Melody of fruits, including nectarine, ripe melon, green apple, and apricot. Ooh, I kind of get the apricot. Not on the nose, though.
No, not on the nose.
A solid foundation of pot still spices showcasing notes of freshly peeled ginger.
Yay!
And I did not look at the notes ahead of time.
I bet you cheated.
I bet I didn't. But they do say peppercorns, too. But I don't smell peppercorns either. Grains perfumed notes of dried flowers and delectable golden syrups. The oak continues to reveal itself, adding notes of vanilla combined with a honeycomb sweetness. How do you smell sweetness? I can taste sweetness. Unless they are snorting it
The
with their
oak
nose or something.
continues. So this is all the nose. That entire reading. You said it a little bit earlier when you said something about that sounded like AI.
Yeah.
I think a lot of whiskey reviews sound like AI generated.
So, Thee, what do they say about the taste?
Well, Ryan, for the taste, they've got luscious at first with succulent fruits and a distinctive creaminess along with an herbal quality akin to chamomile tea. The pot still spices. Wait.
Yeah.
The pot still spices add depth and intrigue as they weave amongst the floral green qualities found lingering throughout. The charred oak's influence. I can't.
There's a lot of bullshit going on
I'm
in these.
telling you, man. You get what you paid for. Oh,
So, Joe, the finisher.
yeah.
You know, the finisher. The fruits and the pot still spices build to a crescendo before giving way, leaving the final say to the oak tannins and antique grain whiskey. So basically,
It's tasty.
You know what? It's super good. It's smooth. It just goes down really well. All this on the nose, the taste, the finish. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, this is a really good
shit.
pickup.
Yeah.
Really good pickup.
And to me, it must be barley because it tastes almost like a Scotch,
It does.
but it's not as grassy
Peaty.
and peaty
Yeah.
as a Scotch. It's
Yeah.
like everything about a Scotch, but better. Mm-hmm. I don't know. This may be one of my favorite non-bourbon
Yeah.
pours that we've had.
Hey, I'm glad you encouraged us to do a joint venture and
Yep.
try something. You know,
It's the only way we're going to afford it.
I know. Even Ryan's not going to drop 400 and something on. Well, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are the only two that would get killed. I mean, so you'd look at me to do it.
So you're volunteering just for me to send you the list, and then
yeah.
I'll
you
pick
know,
it
I
up
do need the
and Venmo
list
me.
because I've got a bunch of people on a hunt. So I need the list.
Middleton 2022.
If you can
Then
find
we do
it.
the side-by-side pour.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
that's that. Now I'm empty, so I'm
Yeah.
going to drink some water before we
Right.
get to the next one. But
Before we get to the reach around.
we get to reach around.
That's
Are
right.
we going to talk about festivals?
Yes.
I think we should.
I do.
Yeah.
So, Joe, what's on our list first?
Irish on Iona, the experience.
I want the trombone sound that goes.
That's it too. It
Yeah.
was really lackluster. It was my first year there, and I was really thinking it was going to be something so fantastic. I was so excited.
No whiskey,
No,
just frickin' beer.
I didn't
Guinness.
see a
I mean,
drop.
I love Guinness, but I wanted some whiskey.
I gotta say, you know, and I'm gonna say this in the most constructive way that I can, but I hate waiting 50 minutes in line for beer
Me
Yeah.
too.
in a
Unorganized.
crowded, unorganized, people standing all over you in various states of
Drunkenness.
sober to drunkenness. Like I don't know.
I was talking to one of my employees that was there, and
Yeah.
he said, maybe I'm getting old, and he's young. He just graduated college.
Oh,
But he's like, I walked in, and we had one drink and left. I said, yeah, us too.
and you know what? We're older than just graduating college. I'm not,
Couple years.
yeah. And we thought the same exact thing. So I don't know. Maybe and Ryan, you've been to Irish a couple of times.
Yeah.
Was it a little bit
Well, they had whiskey
Could they have
first
done
off,
better?
and the setup last time I was there was different.
Yeah.
It's like these guys need an industrial engineer to come in and lay things out so there's a traffic flow,
yeah.
because there was no traffic flow. There was one 6-inch or 6-foot area people were funneling into behind that tent to get into the lines. And then we picked the one line that had one frickin' cash register for 3
Oh,
lanes.
that's my fault.
And then,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Don't follow.
You
theme.
didn't.
It's okay. You
I
didn't
picked
know.
bad
There's a
lines.
reason why the line was short when we got there.
because everybody kept bailing out of it.
But before we got to Irish, we did some pre-gaming because
Yes, we did.
needed some carbs, thinking we were going to actually drink. Mm-hmm. So we go to this new upscale dive bar in Grand Rapids, the Foolery.
Yeah.
That was fun.
First time there.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
the waitress was really friendly,
Yeah, she was great.
and then thought we were freaking nuts when I ordered you guys a shot of Malort.
So
That
so
was
we're,
awful.
We're walking in the door, and Eve's with us, right? So we had the 4 of us, and Ryan's looking at the drinks behind the bar, and I see his face just kind of like change into this mysterious shit-eating grin. And I'm like, what? And he goes, they've got Malort. And when Ryan gets excited about a drink, I feel a little excited because he's got a pretty good reputation as far as I go. Until that day,
Yep.
I
what did he
messed
do
it
to
all
us,
up.
Joe?
You did. You did mess it all up. So he ordered us the shots of Malort. And we were game. The waitress is like, "Are you sure? Are you? That's awful." And we ended up doing it. So she brought them.
Oh, we knew.
We knew they were going to
didn't
be
order
horrible.
a shot for himself.
He
If
did
we
not.
didn't know,
I knew
shame
we
on
would all
us.
share too.
Well, you know what? So
That's probably how we all got sick.
Oh man,
So,
Yep.
in case somebody doesn't know, Malort is a
Nasty.
wormwood,
gross.
the same stuff they make absinthe out of.
which I've had absinthe before. So
And that's
I was kinda-
anise flavored.
Yeah,
Did you just say anus?
Anise.
Anus. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds really close.
It sounds
Anus?
about as bad as.
Yes, Malort. Mm-hmm.
It's black licorice.
Yeah, I didn't get black licorice.
No, not on this stuff.
No. I was like, Zambuca, whoop whoop.
So we were after they tasted it, I started reading online reviews, and it's like gasoline with a hint of sweaty sock and desperation.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and stomach bile. That's the only thing I could think of to describe it is if you've been that drunk where you're sick
Yes.
and you have nothing left to get rid of, it's that flavor.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got cleaner. Like it read
Floral?
like a florally cleaner.
it was nasty shit.
For the record,
Yeah.
I took
but
a
I
sip.
took the shot though.
You did. You
Wuss.
shot it. No, I am a wuss. And I took a sip, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna vomit." And so I don't know who finished off my shot glass. I think it was you,
Eve
Ryan.
and I both.
Yeah.
I
Oh
made
my
Eve
gosh.
do half. And
I said
she
no.
will never do that
I'm
again.
not doing it again. I said I took a sip. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Then our server comes up and tells us about the night before when they were all the servers were
Doing
testing
shots.
Malort themselves and it didn't go so well and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
But a shout out to the Foolery because what a great atmosphere. The food was fantastic. The staff was great.
So they have pizzas,
Yep.
Yeah.
breadsticks,
Yeah.
and other
Pizza was
stuff,
great.
salads and stuff. But we all just
yeah,
shared a couple
easy
of
going,
pizzas.
man.
And
Easy
Yeah,
going.
it was nice downtown, right on the corner of somewhere.
Yep.
But it was super cool. So recommend the Foolery. It's good. Good food,
Yeah.
good drinks, good staff.
So how about your favorite Irish whiskeys?
Yeah, we've already talked enough about Irish.
Yeah, the festival we've given
We
it
won't
way
be
too
go-
much.
Yeah, we won't be going back.
Let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's just like real quick because it's interesting that honestly bourbon, like our listeners who answered our question on our podcast application, we don't typically pick Irish, but we do have a couple of favorites.
Yep.
Joe, what's one of your favorites?
And it's all about Ryan, right? So he introduced me to this Red Breast 12 year. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It blew my mind. It was so good. I couldn't get enough. I'm going to get it. Shut up. I swear to God, you guys.
Didn't even say anything.
You don't have to. I just look at your eyeballs.
We've almost finished that bottle.
I know.
by the
I'm
way.
like wondering if it's going to come down today.
We're gonna have to put blinders on Joe.
No. So Ryan, what about you? What's your favorite Irish whiskey?
Like I said before, I think the Middleton 2022 very rare.
Yeah.
But I also like, which I haven't introduced you guys to yet, but there's a yellow spot, green spot, red spot line, and it's very similar to the Red Breast.
Really?
And those are really good. And they go from 59 to, up by $20 increments, I think. So it was like 59, 79, 99, and I don't remember what the top one was, but
Nice.
my buddy Rory that has Quinn and Two Eats downtown, they have a huge selection of Irish whiskey. So he's always
Quinn and Tui's Irish whiskey. What?
So I try a lot of stuff down there.
That's awesome. I'll have to go with you.
But I
sometime.
drank a lot of Red Breast on Thursday night.
You just like breast. What?
I'm a guy. What do you expect?
I understand.
What about you, Thee?
I stumbled on recently the Jameson Black Label, and I've been telling you guys a little bit about that. We gotta get a try on with that Jameson Black Label. I'm not normally a Jameson drinker. I've tried some. I like mixing drinks with Jameson, if anything. So I found this Jameson Black Label, I think via an article I read. Very smooth. not too heavy on the price point, $40 to $50. Easy going.
Not like my Jameson 18.
Not like your Jameson
I saw it
18.
at Sam's Club.
The Jameson Black Label, did you?
Big bottle.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. So as far as Irish whiskeys go, that would be mine.
So if
Okay.
we need to try, we'll go downtown and
Deal. It's a date.
affordable drinks.
Okay.
Try it out.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, so we need to fill Joe in on our adventure. Wait, we're doing Bourbon Fest first.
Yeah, this didn't. Well, we are not going in chronological order because we are going to talk about Bourbon Fest here, which.
But first, I need to reach around.
Please.
We're past the 30-minute
We
point.
are. All right, it's
reach
time.
around the.
So Ryan, what's our reach around this week?
So unfortunately, we're not doing bourbon again, but we are going to do a Dalmore 12-year Sherry Cask,
Interesting.
which I think you're going to like. It's a little more full flavored than the Middleton, a little higher proof.
What is the proof? Do you know?
I don't know,
It's okay.
but it is a Highland single malt Scotch,
Nice.
so not a lot of peat. No peat. I'm not a.
We
peat.
don't like
We
peat.
don't like peat.
Nope.
And this
Good
one is
smell.
matured in American white oak ex-bourbon casks, which most of them are. But
Oh yeah, that's a Scotch. Yep, that's a Scotch.
this one has a sweeter. I'm tasting prunes. You don't taste fruit, but have you ever had a prune? It's a dried plum.
Yes, I have.
They give you.
I was like, they make you poop.
They make you poop.
They do.
If you're ever constipated,
Prunes.
I can't get prunes out of this. I don't even know.
You know what? I like it though. I like it.
it's a very sweet,
It is.
sweet whiskey.
It's got a fuller bodied taste than the last one.
Mm-hmm.
The last one was very light to me. If
Yeah.
I had to describe the difference
80
between the
proof. So yeah.
two. Yeah, this is fuller, but it's good.
So, aroma, caramelized orange, ginger, and whatever the hell, saltiness.
Prunes.
Is that prunes?
I don't know. I was just going with it.
Oh. All laced with honey. So there's the sweetness.
There you go.
But on the palate,
On the aroma.
they say dark chocolate and crushed almonds with a dusting of cinnamon.
And on the finish, they say sweet mangoes. I don't even know what panna cotta is in a lemon sponge cake, but
Panna cotta is like a dessert thing, I think.
Isn't it like a
custard?
cookie?
but
Oh, it might have a
I think
custard.
it's
okay. Remember when at the first episode I made you guys all laugh? But if you
No,
swish
because
it,
you made me cut it out.
but if you swish it around in your mouth, it's completely different. So just do it and trust me.
It is a little different because it hits all of your taste buds.
That's
not,
why they told me to swish it around in your mouth.
Whoa.
Right?
It is weird. Because usually I
it's
just keep it
better.
in the middle
I've
of
got
my
the
tongue.
prunes. I'm just kidding.
He's got the
High
prunes.
five.
Totally
No,
kidding.
high five.
Oh, I was gonna get up and high five you, you turd. I got the prunes. But no, it
shit.
gives it a completely different
I
flavor
know.
when you swish it around in your mouth.
Swoosh it.
Swish.
So how did we get out of sync? Where did we go wrong?
You craved the reach around, so we're going to circle back and talk a little bit about Bourbon Fest, even though
We didn't go.
we did not go to Grand Rapids Bourbon Fest.
Nope.
Nope. So a couple of episodes ago, I think when we were introducing ourselves, maybe in our first episode, we kind of talked about how Bourbon Fest was one of the first, unifiers of our friendship. Okay.
We have no idea what's going on. It sounds like a grumbling stomach.
And
I think it was a car that drove by.
The first episode,
Whoa.
you were talking about how we talked about Bourbon Fest.
Right. So Bourbon Fest.
I got
and
you.
I think since then we've also mentioned it a couple of times, including that we talked about not going this year. So we did forego Bourbon Fest this year.
Because they had a crappy lineup of whiskey.
Yeah, we're just in a different place. But, we're always going to be telling these wonderful Bourbon Fest stories, like Ryan's friendliness that he's had a couple of times at Bourbon Fest. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
A couple times. It was
Yeah.
one time.
Oh no.
No, young whippersnapper.
I remember.
Okay, you can spill the beans.
Yeah. You go. Maybe it was just 2 times at the same fest because I remember being on the like regular floor. We were out of VIP
Over by the Vicus booth.
Yeah, and that was just when we were on that floor. Vicus was over by the VIP.
Yeah. I thought we
Yeah.
met the guy over there.
Yeah. Nope, it was the same guy.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Brian's
Yeah.
got Brian gets a following when we go out.
Yeah. It's
Not the kind of
the
following he really
jeans.
wants. But, it's his fault. He wears these jeans, and I even stare at his bottom. I can't help it.
Okay. Well, you're going jean shopping with me then, because if that's what it takes.
I'm your jean wingman.
That's right.
I mean, a butt's a butt, and when it looks good, it looks good.
See, that's when you had said
I got
something
you.
earlier.
Yeah.
And you said about the breast.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say I was a butt guy.
You
Yeah.
are a butt guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to help you with your butt in your jeans because
Okay.
you got a pair I like.
Okay. You'll have to show me which ones those are.
You
All
can
right,
model.
all right.
And then I'll
all right.
start wearing them when Eve's home.
Oh, good.
All right, kids. All right, kids.
Sorry.
Coming back.
Okay,
Any
where are
other
we at?
any other Bourbon Fest stories you guys want to?
What about the guys that they were wearing the same shirt?
Oh, we talked about them, I think.
Did we
just
already?
a little bit. Yeah, we did.
Yep. I got
Yeah.
a picture with them. Did I give you that picture to post on the
Oh,
website?
No. We'll get it
and-
posted on
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
social.
fantastic.
Oh my God, that was awesome. I went up to him and I was making fun of him. And then the wives told me what they did and I thought it was amazing. So I got a picture with them and it was so funny. Oh my
mean,
goodness.
Visual folks, you're talking about what, 30s, guys in their 30s.
Yeah.
Bright baby pink with a like
They were
plaid.
bright shirts. I don't
They were
remember.
bright. I don't know pink.
What was the color?
I thought it was blue. I don't
You're
know.
gonna have
But
to
it
check
had
that
weird
picture.
prints on them
They
too,
did,
didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
They bought them online off
was
of
there,
an Instagram ad or something.
3 of them had it on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
But I got a picture with them, so
Yeah.
we can post
But
it.
I will say the thing I like about that, and this is something as we transition into Whiskey Fest. When we first started going to Bourbon Fest, we thought we had to use all our tickets, and we had to drink everything.
Right.
And the stuff you guys didn't drink, I finished. And then we were really shit-faced when we got back to my house.
Oh, yeah, we were.
But Whiskey Fest that
Yeah.
Thea and I went to, we learned we don't have to use all our tickets, and we can spit the shit out
Yeah.
and dump out what we don't drink.
Yeah.
Because if it sucked, I'm not drinking it.
Yeah.
So we were
Whiskey yeah.
pretty stable when we got out of there and not drunk, and well, we were buzzing a little.
Well, yeah. So Joe, so to kind of tie that back to Bourbon Fest, this year we did make the decision to try something different. So we bought tickets for Whiskey Fest. We forego Bourbon Fest this year, decided to go to Whiskey Fest.
And they were cheaper.
They were cheaper.
Half
and,
price.
And yes, we were feeling like the bourbon lovers that we think we are, but I don't know, like lately we have not
it's
managed
not
to
been.
circle back. Yeah. But, there's bourbon on the lineup at Whiskey Fest. There's Irish. There's Scotch. I mean, they even had that tequila, Joe, that we liked at
really?
Bourbon Fest that one
Ooh.
year. Yeah. Yeah. Tequila was there. I mean, so,
What's the name of that stuff?
oh,
It's not.
añejo is the flavor. I
I can see the skull on the
So
I
bottle.
can
can
I-
see the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll come back to me, and then randomly I'll bring it up when it hits
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So we did have to partake in Whiskey Fest without Joe. It wasn't without her spirit that we were, rolling around, checking out the different
Scenery.
vendors. And
And we ran into the lady from Total Wine that you
We
had
did.
talked to. and
That's
I got to
right.
meet her.
Tori.
I think it was
think
Tori.
I think it's Tori. Yeah, and I mean, Joe, I felt Joe there. Like everything from like when we were the what was Hotel Tango's whiskey.
Oh,
and
we
they
had the s'more.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
they were making s'mores on the table, like literally like graham crackers, marshmallows, and chocolate. But it was meant to enhance their drink pour. They had like a marshmallow whiskey and they put it in hot chocolate, and it was like,
Was freaking good.
It sounds stupid.
oh yeah, yeah, it's like sitting out at a campfire and warm your insides.
Nice.
It was wonderful. But then,
We had some stuff we didn't care for.
yeah, we did, and I can't think of the names.
There
of
was
any
a
right
Highland
off the top
Park, I think.
Oh,
that was the
yeah,
first
we
one we
were
had
bummed.
right inside the door.
Yeah, we were looking forward to that one. I will say, Joe and our listeners, like, you do have to evaluate. So we bought VIP, and what VIP gave us in this particular event was to get in early.
An hour early.
Yep. And we were supposed to get certain bottles. Certain bottles were available for VIP ticket holders. And by the time we got around to some of these VIP selections at the different tables that were set up, they didn't have them, or they didn't get them to begin with. I don't know if I don't remember anybody saying
And
they
the
ran
whiskey
out.
list that we saw the week or 2 days before we got there was not the printed out version of the list.
That's right. Yeah,
It was a little deceiving.
yeah.
But I would go back again.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Just for the people watching.
Not VIP.
No, we would have to do VIP because
Okay.
I'm not
yeah.
waiting in
But
line
just
for
know,
2 hours.
You just know. You got to know what you're getting. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It was.
But we also, so funny story. We went to Real Seafood across the street from DeVos and met a lady from Detroit, and she was an attorney. And we were chatting, and she just, like, I had, Thea was talking to the guys next to us, and I was talking to this lady, and she just started asking me about whiskey. Ironically, and we're sitting there chatting, and so I told her we had our podcast and handed her my business card I had freshly printed out, and
It's
she
beautiful,
goes,
by the way.
"They are,
I love them.
And she goes, "I've never met anyone famous like you before." I was like, "Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Nobody knows who the hell we are." But she was all pumped up about it and like asking me about different whiskeys they had there, what to try. And then Thea, you were talking to some crazy guys that were over there,
Oh,
a little
yeah.
wound up.
Boy, I think we got our seats backwards, Ryan. You ended up with a nice lawyer lady, and I ended up with the 3 middle-aged golfing professionals that were at the hotel for the weekend. I think their wives joined them later, but they were already either.
Oh, they were shit faced.
Yeah.
You needed
Yeah.
Joe in there. I would have
I
taken.
I
would have
tried.
taken it.
I did so good, and hopefully, honestly, one of them. I appreciate it. He had me write our podcast name in his notes.
I
And
could have given you a business card.
I didn't think about the fact you had the business cards, but yeah. So hopefully he listens. I don't remember if I even got their names, to be honest with you. But nice little conversation. Started kind of talking about the whiskeys that we like. Once again, back to you can pull up to a bar or
Yep, belly
sit
up.
at a restaurant and just create conversations around whiskey. One of my favorite parts. So
Yep. I mean,
So-
it's amazing what people will talk about. I mean, whiskey people.
Well,
It's
and this
incredible.
lady, like, I had no idea who she was, and she just started asking me questions because we had ordered, I think it was a 1792
Yeah.
restaurant
Yeah.
barrel pick that they had, and she was
all
just
over the restaurant, like in their special cases. I think they had like 200 bottles of it.
I
too.
know. I would buy a bottle of that if they would sell it.
I felt influenced by the fact that it was everywhere you looked.
Yeah, but it was good.
Yeah.
So we got a few minutes left. Any other festivals, even outside of whiskey, that you've been to that you guys want to talk about?
You know, I can say this really quick. The kind of festivals I really find myself enjoying outside of a whiskey fest is arts festivals or food festivals. I mean,
And we have a lot of those here.
Yes, we do. We have a number of those in our city. We have a number. We've all had experiences. I'm not sure if we'll get into those stories, but the 3 of us have experienced Taste of Chicago in some way.
I will talk about Taste of Chicago.
Yeah. Go ahead. I just, I
Because-
just want to say I love the idea of gathering around something that kind of
Yep.
you can learn, and it also brings you to people that you share similar interests with. So whether it's whiskey, arts, food, I encourage people to try music, festivals.
So I've been to Taste of Chicago, and actually I'm going to save that story
yeah.
for our relationship episode
Oh, there
down the
we go.
road when you find out how Eve and I met.
I'm
Hey.
intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Well, we'll save ours too because Joe and I went to Taste of Chicago back when Sarah was pregnant for Lex.
Okay.
So,
But
some
I will
good history
say,
there.
I've had I lived in Chicago for a year. So when my last year of college, I was interning at Panasonic in Chicago. So I spent almost a year there, and that was when Eve and I met. But Taste of Chicago, also went to Italian festival. Any festivals. That's my dog Coco, in case anybody's wondering.
What's up, Coco Bean?
He wants
Such
to
a
let us
good-
know somebody's coming.
Such a good guard dog.
But this past summer, my friend Jason, Suburban Bourbon Dad on Instagram, got us tickets, and he's a music manager. I think I've talked about him before. We got tickets to Lollapalooza.
Oh.
And he has some BMI, or I think it was BMI passes. So we got to go backstage to the private bars back behind the stage.
What's BMI?
It's one of the major music industry,
Oh, okay.
Like-
okay.
that puts out the music.
I was feeling like, is it like DMX or like some group or like, should I know who
it's
this is?
an industry thing
Yeah, okay.
that do the records and record
Cool.
producers. So we got to hang out backstage, and then had quite a few free cocktails, so it was great. I mean,
That's awesome.
so I'm hoping that I get to it this year. It's end of July, early August to do it again, but I know we've got a trip coming up to Europe for a week, and if this all goes down as we're hoping, I may or may not be there. But
Cool.
that's a good time.
Joe,
And
any-
I was going to say, Joe, what about you?
You know, I am I love blues. So whenever I can go to a blues festival, I want to go. I love it. I love blues. I love jazz. You know, I do the Polish festival with my parents.
I
Because
want to do that one, and I have not done that one yet.
it's fun. And my mom is so funny. She says she's been an adopted Polak, right? So she does the pierogies and different things. So I swear to God, Thee, I swear to God, I'm not making this shit up. So, no, I promise. So she loves her Polish festivals and her Polish. Oh my God, and Polish beer is amazing. But I love everything about a blues festival and Polish festivals. They're so much fun, and you can get in. I'm talking about Polish now. You can get in, you can kind of dance. So, you know, not that you know how, but it's fun. So they're all good places to be.
My friend Michael, that's on Kybercast podcast, he's half Polish, and he always has pictures of Polish Fest downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And one of these times I'm going to get down there, but I never know about it until I see the posts from people.
There's one in Muskegon.
There is?
it happens
You can come with me.
every year, but I'm not 100% sure if it's always the same date. I don't know that for sure. It
Yeah.
probably is, or relatively the same, but yeah, we'll have to check that out sometime. And Joe, just as an FYI, I know exactly where you get all of your
I know.
experience from. Susie and Tom, thank you very much. They are the original experience.
They really are.
So-
I am a little bit of all of them.
Yep. So let's.
So I want to, before we wrap stuff up, sorry, Thee.
No, that's okay.
I just wanted to plug a couple of Grand Rapids festivals for anybody that's listening outside of Grand Rapids. So, first weekend in June, we always have not art prize. We have Festival of the Arts.
That's right.
And I think it's usually the first weekend in June, and I should have had the dates, but we'll
Yeah.
give them to you before. I recommend
We'll
coming
put
down.
it in our description for the episode. How about that?
And it's live music. They have art booths and a lot of food. I don't know. There's usually
Performances.
performances of all
Yep.
kind, dancing,
Yep.
music, visual arts, performing arts, everything. So we're known for that. And then in September, October, we have what we call Art Prize. And that is pulling in artists from all over the world. And the whole downtown Grand Rapids turns into an art museum. And you can vote on things. And now I see Joe over here
Laughing at your dog.
Laughing. Oh, gotcha.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, so my dog drinks out of a
Gerbil.
giant gerbil water bottle.
He sounds like a hamster.
I
Thought it was something I had done that you were laughing at. I'm like, what
it's
the
your
hell?
Damn dog. It's so funny. I love Coco.
Yeah, we do.
So, anyways,
Yeah, Art Prize is awesome. So if you need to know more about it specifically, check it out. Art Prize, GR Art Prize. Fantastic experience. Been around for what, 5 or 6 years,
it's more
somewhere
than that.
around
It was
that.
pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, yeah. And every year it changes just a little bit. They kind of figure out different ways to use the city, from outdoor art displays to inside of our museums, our stores, our restaurants.
Yep.
And it's even more than just downtown. It spreads out to our Frederick Meyer Gardens. It goes out to other areas of town. But I mean, that thing has revolutionized a lot of things in our town. You know, really changed a lot of landscape looks, and it's been a beautiful thing. So, but yeah, so great conversation, you guys. Fun conversation. We wanted to just like kind of cut loose with you guys today, talk a little bit about the festivals that we love, the festivals that we want to include in our upcoming, adventures together. So we've had a good time just kind of sitting back, enjoying some good whiskey with you guys and talking through some of our experience with some of our festivals. Ryan, you want to tell everybody what's going on in our next episode?
So do we get honest with everyone?
I think so.
Because of
How
our travel,
honest.
because of our travel schedules coming up, we're going to do 2 episodes back to back. And as you can tell, Joe and I have already started getting a little
Tipsy.
loose-lipped here.
Yep.
Our next episode that we're going to be recording here in a few minutes is All's Fair in Love, War, and Whiskey. And we're kind of going unscripted on this one, and we are planning not to edit anything. So we're going to have to control ourselves.
God help me.
And I put together some good stuff for that. So that'll be coming up. I think we're going to take a short break. And Joe, why don't you sign us off here?
So just a reminder, check us out on social media. It Starts With Whiskey, or Rye Guy Whiskey GR, Joe the Experience, and Whiskey Thee, all on Instagram.
So until next time, we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.